With the struggles that they're having on the occupancy side in general, this guided path and prescriptive selling, right? So we can help them get salespeople up and running faster, right? So they got to go through training. They have to understand the industry. They have to understand what are the next steps for each of the sales process. And so we can do that. We can help them with that.
Welcome to Season 6 of Bridge the Gap, a podcast dedicated to informing, educating, and influencing the future of housing and services for seniors. Powered by sponsors AccuShield, Enquire, Connected Living, Hamilton Captel, Refera, ServiceMaster, Patriot Angels, The Bridge Group Construction, and Solinity. The contributors are brought to you by Peak Senior Living and produced by Solinity Marketing.
Welcome to Bridge the Gap podcast, the senior living podcast with Josh and Lucas here at the Spring NIC Conference. We got a great episode on today. Very excited to have Brad Frasher. He's the CEO at Enquire, Glennis, and Sherpa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're so excited that you're on. We got to spend time with you in Nashville at our Dream event. And a lot has happened since then in your world.
I've been a little busy.
You have been busy. So we're great friends with Aaron, and you guys are amazing supporters of our platform. And just sidebar to all of our listeners, we get so much feedback from our listeners that say we love the content. It's so much content. We can access it freely in different varieties. We can eat it any way we want to, right? It's people like Brad and Aaron, this whole company that allow for Bridge the Gap to be able to produce the level of content that we produce to help educate, inform, and influence the industry. And we're so thankful for that support because it really is meaningful.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm very excited about the combination of the three companies, our access to the number of customers and the amount of data that we have. I'm a data nerd from way back. And so I'm really interested in getting my hands on a lot more of that data and then helping operators operate better. It's really our focus.
So what does that mean for existing users of these three platforms and then potential users? What does this all mean?
So as we sit here, the real value prop is we have a unified data model. So we have one data model that has applications on each one of them. What that means is that for the existing customers of Enquire and Sherpa, they are now integrated into the platform. So we'll be able to offer customers billing, care management, med management, so on and so forth. So some of our others, which is really great. It just provides more information to them. As it relates to the legacy systems of Sherpa, Enquire, and Glennis, I have three CRMs now. Existing customers will continue to support them. What makes me really excited is we have the ability now to look at the best parts of each and really enhance the offerings that we have based on that.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, the industry continues to talk a lot about sales and marketing and how technology can help support those efforts, as it has in many other verticals for many years. Senior living has really stepped up, really ramped up in the technology space. Talk to us about your views on this challenge of occupancy and how sales and marketing should position themselves to help solve that occupancy issue.
Sure. So what we have now is we really have a whole sales ecosystem, from our contact center that we get with Enquire to when you come to the website, we have a chatbot offering, to the CRM and marketing automation. So we can help move the prospect through the entire, from the time that they contact us all the way to the time that they move in, and then so on and so forth with the rest of the offerings that we have. But really, our goal is to help them with the next steps. With the amount of data that we have great benchmarking. We can tell the operators, based on whatever metric it might be, whether it's inquiries, move-ins, tours, conversions, professional referrals, we can tell them where they are. Are they average? Are they an average community? Or are they above average or below average? And if they're below average, that's an insight, right? Where we're going is to tell them what the steps that they can take. If they are below average, you should do X, Y, and Z. And we have the journey to show them what an average journey for a prospect is, from, inquiry to move-in.
I think one of the things that I know I personally selfishly have enjoyed in the partnerships that we've had over the last few years is that the data in these, I think Aaron even referred to them as benchmark reports. That data is so valuable to everyone in the industry. So combining these companies and so much data, do you guys think you'll still continue to provide that benchmarking data on the entire industry and then by regions, or how is those type of reports that you provide going to change?
We're really getting into the data side now. We will only enrich that data, right? Because we essentially are servicing almost 500,000 units. So we get a lot of sales data. We actually have the most sales data in the industry. So if you think about it, we have our finger on the pulse of what the prospect sentiment is, from the first time that they inquire all the way through how many times they tour, how many home visits did we do, what is the most likely path. You're really getting into the lead scoring side of the business so that we know which prospects are most likely to move in, and then we can share that information with the operators.
So what do you think is the single most top of the line challenge that you guys are going to help operators with? There's obviously a lot of challenges relating to occupancy, but what are you guys noticing is like every operator really needs to make sure they have a solution for this?
With the struggles that they're having on the occupancy side in general, this guided path and prescriptive selling, right? So we can help them get salespeople up and running faster, right? So they got to go through training. They have to understand the industry. They have to understand what are the next steps for each of the sales process. And so we can do that. We can help them with that. And even with our contact center, we can take some of that burden off of them and make sure that they're talking to all the prospects that are, self-selecting to come to senior housing, right? If a older adult or the adult child is reaching out, they're reaching out for because there's a problem and they're looking for a solution. And we can help provide that to them and make sure that we're nurturing them from first contact all the way through to move in.
So marketing and sales professionals, obviously as our industry grows, we need more team members, and that will include more senior living marketing and sales people, but we're probably going to have to go outside of the industry to bring people that may have a lot of experience in that genre, but maybe don't understand our industry. Are you guys going to be equipped to help them not only have a tool to use, but to know how to understand our industry better?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that Sherpa brings to the table, right? So Sherpa has been a really good sales thought leadership. It's really a sales enablement tool, right? While it's a CRM, it's really a process. And through the training and culture starters and different types of outreach training sessions that they have for new operators, existing operators, they're teaching people how to sell, what's important, and we're going to bring that throughout the rest of the portfolio, right? So we have a bunch of customers now that can use that daily update to training, advisory services, those types of things. And you can get that both digitally in our e-learning programs, or you can get it in, face-to-face in our in-person programs.
So switching topics just a little bit for our listeners out there, we've got a broad group from the community level listeners, those outside of the industry, young entrepreneurs thinking about getting into our industry. And then we've got all of those NIC listeners that are all the thought leaders like you here. Massive challenge. 3 very successful companies, C-suite, the mind of the C-suite. What's a day in the life of your life right now, bringing these powerhouses together to unite? What does that look like for you?
That's it. You're exactly right. I couldn't be more excited to be associated with the Sherpas and the Enquires of the world, bringing them together. There's a reason why they were successful companies. They had good people, both at the top, but also as you go down get into the second layer of management, just really good people. And, while they were big competitors for a long number of years, once you got it past the initial, wait a minute, we're not, these aren't bad people. We're all good people. The thing that we hear over and over is that we just have a lot of good people that want to do right by the industry and are really excited about the mission of the combined company and what we can accomplish. And when you have everybody rowing in the right direction, it makes my job a little bit easier. Right now, We're in the meat of the integration. Most of the team, about 75% of the way of the team is integrated and, feeling good with the companies. And, product and dev will follow. Obviously, there's a lot of work to do there. We're in the meat of the branding, so we'll come out with a new name here relatively soon. And once that happens, it'll feel much more of a cohesive company because everybody will have something to stand behind. And and have the same email address. That's my real focus.
Well, you heard it right there from the C-suite. And what an exciting partnership it's been for Bridge the Gap through the years, bringing amazing content, really amazing data to our industry, solutions for our industry, no matter what the level of listeners. Appreciate your time and excited. I know our listeners are going to want to tune in, Lucas, and be waiting for the new name drop that he just gave us a little teaser for, and a lot of exciting announcements that are coming forth from this great new opportunity for our industry.
Yeah, absolutely. 2023 is proving to be a very, very interesting year. These challenges create opportunities, and it's great to have great partners in the industry that are focused on the day-to-day operations that operators and professionals are facing in this industry. And we really appreciate you spending time with us today, Brad.
No problem. Appreciate the opportunity. It's great talking to you guys.
And to our listeners, if you want to hear more from Brad and his teams, you can connect with us at btgvoice.com. You can hit that link in the show notes on your podcast player. And then also connect with us on LinkedIn. There's a healthy conversation there. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another great episode of Bridge the Gap.
Thanks for listening to Bridge the Gap podcast with Josh and Lucas. Connect with the BTG Network team and use your voice to influence the industry by connecting with us at btgvoice.com.